Have you ever wondered how a country with a territory of almost 10 million kilometers, the second largest in the world, could have emerged just because of a small misunderstanding? This is exactly Canada, a land known not only for its crimson maple forests and endless seacoasts, but also for amazing facts that can astonish anyone. From the story of how a tiny village gave its name to the entire country, to the countless lakes whose number is impossible to count, Canada is truly a treasure trove of amazing discoveries waiting for you. Number 1. A name born from a misunderstanding. Canada is a country in North America with a territory of almost 10 million kilometers, which today ranks second in the world by area, second only to Russia. However, it's surprising that the population here is just over 41 million people, which is only slightly more than the population of Tokyo, the most densely populated city on the planet, with 37 million residents. That's why Canada is among the developed countries with the lowest population density, just 4.1 people per square kilometer. For comparison, the world average reaches 55 people per square kilo, including even completely uninhabitable territories like volcanoes or oceans. Canada also boasts nearly 100% literacy. 99% of the population can read and write, and more than 57% have higher education or a scientific degree. This is a world record as of the beginning of 2025. In the harsh Arctic, where temperatures can drop to 50 degrees Celsius, the Inuit continue to preserve their traditional communal structures and hospitable customs, which often surprise visitors. Linguistic diversity is another feature of the country. Canada has 2 official languages: English, spoken by 75% of the population, and French, widespread in Montreal, where more than 5 million people speak it, making this city the second largest French-speaking center after Paris. But the most surprising thing lies in the name. Canada appeared thanks to a misunderstanding. In 1535, the explorer Jacques Cartier heard the local word Kanata, meaning village. He decided that this was the name of the entire land. Thus, a small village gave its name to one of the largest countries in the world. Doesn't it seem strange to you that a huge country was named after just a village? Are you surprised that such a vast state is named after a little village? Leave a comment with the number 1 if you want to learn more about the history of this country. Number 2, the country with the most lakes on the planet. If you think Canada is famous only for its blazing maple forests, that's just half the picture. In fact, Canada is a paradise of lakes, and no other country on Earth can compare. Scientists admit that accurately counting the number of lakes in Canada is practically impossible. They only estimate that there are more than 3 million natural lakes here, accounting for about 60% of all freshwater lakes in the world. Their total area reaches 891,000 kilometers, larger than the territory of Turkey. An interesting fact, if Canada didn't have these lakes, its total land area would drop to 4th place in the world, behind the USA and China. Thus, the lakes not only beautify nature, but also enhance the country's cartographic power. Moreover, Canada has the longest coastline in the world. Its shores are washed by 3 oceans: the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic. The total length of the coastline is 200,080 kilometers, exceeding the combined figure for Indonesia, Norway, Russia, and the Philippines. Doesn't it surprise you that Canada is simultaneously the kingdom of lakes and the empire of coasts? Number 3, an economic powerhouse. Today, Canada ranks 9th in the world by nominal GDP, which in 2024 is expected to reach $3 trillion. But it's not just the overall power that matters. The maple leaf country also stands out for its high standard of living. The average per capita income exceeds $50,000 a year. This places Canada among the 20 richest countries in the world, ahead of even the United Kingdom and France, traditional industrial powers. So what allows Canada to maintain such a position? The secret lies in 2 giant treasure troves: forests and oil. With more than 4.9 million square kilometers of forests, Canada ranks 2nd in the world by their area, accounting for nearly 10% of all natural forests on the planet. This is the foundation for a powerful forestry industry, one of the pillars of the economy. However, the main source of income is black gold. Canada has the 3rd largest oil reserves in the world, about 169.7 billion barrels, each 160 liters. If all this spilled out, it would create a sea of oil larger than Lake Baikal. The oil industry brings in approximately $200 billion annually, accounting for 10% of GDP. Moreover, 97% of exports go to the USA, making oil a vital artery of the economy for both countries. Number 4, the capital of polar bears. If there's a place on Earth where people have to learn to live side by side with polar bears, it's Canada. This country is home to more than 60% of the entire polar bear population on the planet. Out of the 20 remaining groups of these animals in the world, Canada has 15, turning it into the largest home for this Arctic symbol. The brightest confirmation is the town of Churchill, which is rightly called the polar bear capital. Every year from October to November, hundreds of bears gather in Churchill waiting for the seal hunting season, when Hudson Bay freezes over. The peculiarity is that with a town population of about 900 people, the number of polar bears can reach 1,600. That means the chance of encountering a bear here is higher than meeting a person. For this reason, warning signs about bears are everywhere in Churchill. Local residents don't even lock their house or car doors so that in case of danger, anyone can quickly take shelter from the huge neighbor, which weighs almost half a ton. Would you dare to go to Churchill? A place where meeting a bear on the street is easier than a person. Number 5, the home of strange wars. When it comes to war, we usually imagine weapons, bombs, territories, and power. But in Canada, wars were sometimes fought in very unusual ways, when bottles of rum and beavers became weapons. One of the brightest examples is the bottle war between Canada and Denmark. While the rest of the world fought over resource-rich lands, two of the most peaceful countries on the planet argued for decades over sovereignty of Hans Island, a tiny piece of land 1.3 kilometers in size, which was never inhabited and had no useful minerals. The story took a comical turn in 1984, when a Danish official planted a flag on the island and left a bottle of rum as a claim. Canada, not wanting to yield, removed the flag, raised its own, and also left a bottle of alcohol. The bottle war lasted for decades, and people joked, they aren't dividing the island, they're just collecting empty bottles. But that's not all. There was also a beaver war, which indirectly led to a full-scale conflict between England and France in North America. In the 17th century, beaver fur became the most valuable commodity for making felt hats in Europe. The English, French, Dutch, and local tribes like the Iroquois and Hurons engaged in fierce clashes, destroying trading posts, looting warehouses, and attacking each other. All for these flat-tailed rodents. Number 6, one of the safest countries in the world. Canada is rightly considered one of the safest countries on the planet, and its approach to maintaining order deserves special attention. According to the 2023 Global Peace Index, Canada ranks 11th out of 160 countries, ahead of many well-known powers. Although there are about 5,768 offenses per 100 residents, which is slightly higher than the U.S. figure of 5,106, more than half of them are petty thefts. In terms of serious crimes, Canada differs significantly. 1.90 cases of bodily harm per 100 residents versus 6.3 in the USA. The most interesting feature is the positive ticket program implemented by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Instead of catching offenders, police note good deeds, helping elderly people cross the road, keeping things clean, or arriving at school on time. Anyone caught doing good receives a positive ticket. It could be a coupon for pizza, a movie ticket, or a small gift from a local business. The results were impressive. In the city of Richmond, British Columbia, where the program started first, teenage crime rates dropped by almost 50%. Just one small piece of paper, a little gift, and the right direction helped many teenagers realize the value of good deeds, creating a safe and friendly community. Number 7, a country ready to welcome aliens. If there's a place on Earth ready to roll out the red carpet for aliens, it's Canada. You don't have to wait for a UFO to actually land. People here built a landing pad specifically for flying saucers first. The story began in 1967 in the town of St. Paul, Alberta Province, in honor of the 100th anniversary of Canadian Confederation. Instead of erecting a monument or a square like many do, this small town decided to build a runway for beings from space, and they did it absolutely seriously. The 118-ton structure was installed on sturdy concrete supports, and nearby they placed a commemorative plaque with fragments of stone from each Canadian province, a special welcome to guests from space. And that was just the beginning. In 1990, a UFO museum opened right behind the pad. It displays photos, maps of places where UFOs were allegedly seen, as well as copies of eyewitness testimonies claiming encounters with aliens. Tourists can explore numerous fascinating exhibits from official documents to mystical stories, creating an atmosphere of both science and mystery. Canada is hospitable not only to people, but ready to open its arms to beings from space. Number 8. Santa Claus has Canadian citizenship. Have you ever wondered where Santa Claus really comes from? According to the Canadian government, he's a true Canadian. In 2008, Canada's Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, Jason Kenney, officially declared Santa Claus a citizen of Canada. And there's logic to it. His red and white suit matches the colors of the Canadian flag, and his permanent residence, the North Pole, fully belongs to Canadian territory. Moreover, Santa Claus has his own postal code, H0H000. It sounds like his signature laugh. Every Christmas, Canada Post launches the Letter to Santa Claus program, allowing children from around the world to send letters to this unique address. Santa not only receives them, but responds to each one. Thanks to thousands of volunteers, reply letters are sent in 30 languages, including Braille for visually impaired children. Annually, Santa Claus receives over 1 million letters, and all are guaranteed a response. This not only demonstrates Canada's hospitality and humanism, but also makes it the official home of Santa Claus on the world map. Do you think Santa Claus is Canadian? Number 9. Weight loss, the Canadian way. Have you tried dozens of ways to lose weight and all without results? Instead of exhausting diets, try a completely natural solution. Buy a ticket straight to Hudson Bay, Canada. In this unique region, gravity is weaker than usual, allowing you to lose up to 0.4% of your body weight without any effort. If you weigh 75 kilos, that's about 300 gros. That's the calories in a teaspoon of salt or 2 peanuts. It sounds like a joke, but it's a confirmed geological phenomenon studied for over 50 years. About 20,000 years ago, a glacier more than 3 kilometers thick covered Hudson Bay, pressing down the Earth's crust and displacing rocks sideways. When the ice melted rapidly, the huge void didn't fully recover, forming a natural gravitational pit with noticeably weakened gravity. In fact, gravity on Earth is unevenly distributed, but such obvious differences are extremely rare. Hudson Bay is one of the most unique natural phenomena, combining science and tourism, and is rightly considered the world's most unusual weight loss paradise. Would you like to experience this strange phenomenon? Leave the number 9 if you think this place deserves a spot on your travel list. Number 10. The world's largest exporter of maple syrup. If you love pancakes, toast, or just natural sweetness, you should definitely say to Canada, thank you. This country is today the world kingdom of maple syrup production, providing up to 75% of global supplies. The province of Quebec alone produces 95% of the national volume, thanks to the cool climate, short spring, and ideal temperature regime. The eastern maple forests, especially in Quebec, are a true sweet gold mine for Canadian agriculture. Maple syrup is not only a pride of nature, but also a profitable business. Every year, Canada earns nearly $500 million from exports to more than 60 countries. Moreover, 62% of all imports go to the USA. The peculiarity is that the Canadian government even established a national strategic reserve of maple syrup in Quebec. The syrup is stored in large barrels, carefully sealed, as if it's a true strategic resource of the country. It sounds funny, but for Canada, it's serious business, confirming the cultural and economic value of this sweet liquid gold. Canada is not only a huge country, but a true maple syrup paradise, where sweetness becomes a national symbol. Number 11. A country where coffee is served with cream. Canada is famous for its unique gastronomic culture, and coffee is an integral part of it. This country is among the largest coffee consumers in the world, about 290.1 tons per year, according to 2020 data. Interestingly, Canadians don't add milk or sugar to coffee like in many other countries. They most often use cream. In the harsh climate close to Arctic, holding a cup of hot coffee with cream is a popular way to warm up. However, Canada's gastronomic culture isn't limited to coffee. Opening a kitchen cabinet, you have a 50% chance of finding a box of macaroni and cheese, especially Kraft Dinner, a product originating from the USA. But Canadians became its most passionate fans. On average, each Canadian eats more than 3 boxes a year, 3 times more than Americans. One politician even promised to keep the price of Kraft Dinner as part of his election program for the happiness of the people. Thus, Kraft dinner became a cultural symbol and even an electoral dish. Would you dare to try coffee with cream or survive the winter eating only macaroni and cheese? Write the number 11 if you think Canada's taste is truly unique. Number 12, the birthplace of basketball. Few people know that basketball, one of the most popular sports in the world, originated in Canada. In 1891, James Naismith, a physical education teacher from Ontario, invented this game so his students could train on cold winter days. A simple game of throwing a ball into a basket gradually turned into a global sports symbol, present on courts from the USA to Asia. When it comes to Canadian sports, many immediately think of ice hockey, a winter sport revered here almost like a religion. In over 100 years of the World Championship history, organized by the IIHF, Canada has won 26 titles and a total of 50 medals, becoming a true superpower in this sport. They say if hockey is a battlefield, Canada is Napoleon. And in summer, the country's pride becomes lacrosse, the official national sport since 1994. Originating from indigenous tribes, lacrosse requires speed, strength, and tactics. It's an ancient game that still retains vibrant energy. Basketball and lacrosse are a pair of unbeatable sports worthy of standing alongside hockey in Canadian sports heritage. Number 13. The country with the world's most valuable currency. If there were a contest for the most unusual currency, Canada would surely be the main contender. Surprisingly, Canadian banknotes are not made of paper at all. Since 2011, Canada was the first in the world to switch to using polymer plastic for all bills from $5 to $100. They are not only more durable and eco-friendly, but also waterproof. Even if you accidentally wash them in a machine or drop them in snow, the bills will remain intact, and most importantly, won't crease like ordinary cotton paper money. The history of Canadian money becomes even more impressive if you recall special coins. In Sudbury, Ontario, you can see the Big Nickel, the world's largest coin, 9 meter tall and weighing 13 kilos. It was created by miner Ted Zilligy in 1960 and is a giant copy of the 1951 5-cent coin. If you're a collector, the real dream would be the big maple leaf. This coin was issued in 2007 by the Royal Canadian Mint. Made of 99% pure gold, it weighs 100 kilo, has a diameter of 45 centimeters, and a market value of over $5 million US. There are only 6 such coins in the world, and one of them was boldly stolen from the Bode Museum in Berlin in 2017 and still hasn't been found. What would you choose? Big nickel, big maple leaf, or the unique polymer bills? Share your opinion. Number 14. The largest shopping mall in North America. If you think the largest shopping mall in North America is in New York or Los Angeles, you're deeply mistaken. In fact, it's located in Canada, in the city of Edmonton, Alberta province, and is called West Edmonton Mall. This mall is so huge that it resembles a real city and today is the largest shopping complex in North America and the 5th largest in the world. Inside, you'll enter a true labyrinth of consumption. More than 800 stores and over 100 restaurants and cafes, from elite to the simplest. But what turns it into a tourist mecca isn't just the numbers, but the unique entertainment infrastructure. There's the world's largest indoor water park, an ice rink, a cinema, and even a park styled like a European city. In West Edmonton, you'll find a pirate ship, a water park, and fairy tale zones right within the mall walls. If you haven't been here yet, pack your bags and head out to discover the kingdom of Canadian shopping. It's a journey where shopping and entertainment merge into one, and where it's easy to get lost in a dazzling labyrinth of pleasures. Number 15. The world's longest demilitarized border. No high walls, no moats, no tanks or heavy weapons. Canada and the USA share a world record, the longest demilitarized border, stretching 8,191 kilometers. This is a frontier of peace between 2 North American powers, often lovingly called the 49th parallel, as most of the border runs along the 49th parallel north. The peculiarity of this border is not only in its peacefulness, but also in its intellectual and poetic atmosphere. One unique place is the Haskell Free Library and Opera House, located between Darby Line, Vermont, and Stansted, Quebec, Canada. Here, you can read books on U.S. territory and borrow them in Canada, a rare experience for the world. The building stands right on the border. One half is in one country, the other in another, and the dividing line is marked on the floor. It's a gentle reminder that knowledge doesn't need passports, and physical borders can't stop cultural and scientific communication between people. And here are 15 amazing facts about Canada, a country famous not only for its majestic nature, but also for a multitude of incredible and almost fairy tale features. Which fact impressed you the most? Share in the comments. And if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new exciting journeys. Note: all information in the video is for reference only, so be sure to verify the data before making any decisions. See you in the next journeys.